Hello, this is Warlord 12, and today I need to talk about the problems with Naruto Storm 5, right? Or even if a game like that comes out and it's not called Storm 5 or whatever, I could always change the title, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that because of some YouTubers that trash talk saying that oh that's stupid stuff like oh you're an idiot because you call it Storm 5 or whatever it is or because it doesn't exist or whatever, man. you know, I already say what I need to say about that. But the main problem with a Naruto Storm 5 game is mainly it's just for most video games that have come out for Naruto games that have to do with the fighting aspect or fighting games or arena fighters or whatever what have you. Tsunade is a character that is like so slow that you could jump out of her combos. I'm not sure if you're able to do that in Naruto Storm 4, but I need to address this anyway for Storm 5. Because, what I'm saying, there are certain characters you play as, and you try to do a combo, and people could just jump right out of it. And it's kind of like, what's the point of, doing combos? And that's one of the other problems with Storm 5 is how repetitive the combos are as well. But I also need to talk about when it comes to different characters. It, I need to say this, it doesn't matter if the game is competitive or not competitive, meaning not just Naruto Storm games, but video games in general. You know what I'm saying? That your video game should be balanced. You know what I'm saying? No ands, ifs, or buts about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I've also been seeing for myself, like, one of the main problems that I need to talk about for characters and, not just combos, but versatility is characters like Kimimaru, for instance. Bandai nerfed that character badly. Like Kimimaru in this game, he got butchered. What I mean by that is there are like combo strings that you can like create out of thin air. I would put it is because he had like the way he moved around, like his dash canceling, right? Where like you press it, like you're holding down next to move around or whatever it is. You could do stuff like that and then like press the square button for his projectiles and like he would get like maybe like a 6 or 7 hit combo off of the his bone bullets that he throws at his opponent, right? Or bone pellets, what have you, right? Before he even does a real combo. And like it got nerfed because I guess it was too broken. But I'm like, you could just rework that instead of just nerfing Kimaru. Because that was like his bread and butter, and that's just how he fights. Like he'll start off by throwing bullets with his acrobatic combat style, right? And then like because the delay with the what's called the bum bullets while you're getting hit, you have plenty of time to do combo strings off of that. Now you can't even do that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Kinemaro is like a definitely a top popular character. He's even butchered in Shinobi Striker. We haven't even seen that. We haven't even seen him in Shinobi Striker. I'm not talking about a CAC. I'm talking about actual character, actual ninjutsu. But even then, I'm still talking about how the problem with this game in general when it comes to characters. Or I'm gonna bring up another character like, for instance, Datara, right? He's like usually Datara is like a broken character. I understood he was way too broken. I'm someone who actually used to use that character a whole lot, abusing some of his like spammable moves or techniques. My thing was when I was using him, sometimes I would just get carried away and accidentally spam because I was literally just having too much fun with the character. That was back in Naruto Storm 2, and I'm just like, instead of, nerfing Deidara, why don't you just rework his character? Um, make him still, like, I wouldn't say nerfed, just make him balanced and just make him fun again. That's all I'm saying about stuff like that. It just doesn't make any sense. As a matter of fact, while I'm talking about that, I need to be talking about, like, I like these puppet characters. Like, you have to stay far away from your opponent and everything. Like, Your puppet gets hit one time and then you're open for an attack. Like, why can't it just be like Naruto Ultimate Ninja? What was it? Excel 2, I believe. Yeah, I mean Excel 2, right? In that game, you can, or Naruto should put in Excel 2, excuse me, but when you're using like Sazori, right, your puppet is following you everywhere you go. So it's like the character's like right next to the puppet, so like the puppet isn't falling down. It's just whenever you're doing a combo, you could do a combo and stuff like that. Like you don't have to keep running away and hang back and hide and hide from your opponent and stuff like that. You just fight. So I understand why Bandai haven't come up with a way to use puppet users in a better way. You know what I'm saying? But another main thing I need to talk about for the problems with Storm 5 is mainly because of a lot of people have already talked about the story, story mode, right? A lot of us have talked about the problem with story mode, and the main problem with that is the best way to put it is just like it's not like Storm 1. I'm not saying that every Naruto Storm has to be the same, but it's just like Naruto Storm set the bar high. Not only Naruto Storm, but even the exclusive Naruto game for the Xbox, Broken Bond 2, right? I think it was only one Broken Bond. Was there a broken? I don't remember if there being a Broken Bond 2. I must be thinking about like Clash of Ninja or something. But what I'm saying is for Broken Bond, right? You had like the way you had like other options for like moving around in that game. Like for instance, how it was like more like it's like you had way more freedom when free roam and like you can do like mini games for running on water and stuff like that. And that's actually reminds me of how you used to actually run up trees when it comes to like Ultimate Ninja 2 and things or Ultimate Ninja 3 games like that. But back to Broken Bond and even games like, for instance, Naruto Storm 1. Naruto Storm 1, you could actually use your Rasengan on like different objects and stuff like that. You can do things like jump on like I should say like other obstructions and buildings and stuff. You can't do that in the new Naruto Storm games. You can't um, be free. Like what I'm saying, kind of like the freedom that you would see in a Spider-Man game, right? For like as a one-player game, right? You can't do all that moving around stuff. It's like you're a ninja, right? You should be able to do all that stuff. You should be able to move around in a Naruto game like that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, why people are more hyped for a game like Tenkaichi 4 or games like Final Fantasy Dissidia, right? By the way, for those that don't know, Dissidia is basically like a multiplayer game, basically where it was like the best way to put it. It's almost somewhat similar to like a Tenkaichi like um, layout. I mean, as far as like the moving around part and stuff like that, for some of the mechanics, just the movement mechanics in that game, or things you can do, like you can run on walls. I mean, Dragon Ball Z games, you can't really run on walls, but you can run on the ground, you could fly in the air, you could crash through buildings. So Dissidia was like, you can grind on different, um, like, pull like objects or whatever it is. You can grind on that, or like kind of like soaping, right? You used to be able to do stuff like that. You can't do that. That's what I'm trying to say about like Naruto Storm games. Like you don't have freedom like that. Or in Dissidia, like how you can like dash through the air and things like that. I mean, you could do that in Storm too, but in Dissidia you could actually run on the walls. Like it's not even a Naruto game, and you can run on walls in that game. And that game is for the PSP, and it's just like, why don't we have that right now? That's something that we should have been had. You know what I'm saying, for Naruto Storm games, especially like playing online. We should have had the options to run on walls. Maybe even like have online where you can play co-op with your friends. Actually, matter of fact, that should have been a thing. Play online co-op with your friends. Play like have clan battles online. You could have done stuff like that. Not just like, I'm not talking about story mode for clan wars, but but basically like how like kind of like some fighting games like I believe Tekken Tag 2, I think, for like the PS4 or something like that, Tag or whatever it was, and like I don't think I could use that as an example because I don't really remember how that game is when it comes to online and stuff like that. But I will say, like, for instance, when it comes to online, right, especially for Storm 5, it needs netcode, obviously. And even then, it's just like, you should have had, like, the ability to use co op with your friends and, like, or people that you just know, and, like, you just team up to play against other people, right? Or even, like, in story mode, maybe just, like, two people can play at a time or whatever it is, maybe three, but I'll keep it at minimum of like two characters, right? For story mode, you get to like wherever you're going, like wherever you're running around to, whatever it is, you invite someone to the game, whatever it is, so you both can play the game. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. Um, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these things should have already been in a Naruto Storm game. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even talking about like a character creation, nothing like that. Like I mean, of course, that's like for they had like a Shinobi Striker 2 or something like that. But other than well, even then with Shinobi Striker, you can run on buildings and things like that as well, and like run on walls and stuff. And it's just like, how come we can't do that in Storm games anymore? You know what I'm saying? When playing against other people. And as a matter of fact, one of the other things that we should have already had for Naruto Storm games is the ability to choose from a variety of different types of jutsu. I already understand you could do that to a certain degree, but I'm talking about really choosing what you want to use. Like, for instance, if you're, like, in Naruto Storm, I mean, Naruto Ultimate Ninja 2 for the PS2, you were able to choose a variety of different ninjutsu that characters probably couldn't even use or wouldn't be able to use. I mean, there were some exceptions where, like, Gaara's Sand you couldn't use for all the other characters. Well, of course, you could use it for, I mean, Gaara, but aside from Gaara, there was, like, a lot of techniques in ninjutsu that, like, a lot of the characters can use. Like, you could have Sakura use a Chidori, or you could have Gaara use Chidori. All these different crazy things. And you don't really see stuff like that anymore. But I'm also bringing it up because of, maybe you want different customization options, right? For fun online, stuff like that. Use different, ninjutsu and elements and stuff. But I also need to get back to the problem with Storm 5 is just like, hopefully that characters aren't broken like Itachi, where you can just keep chucking fireballs at your opponent. Like, it's not just like spamming fireballs at your opponent. It's just like the game is like too like the way people play. It's too skittish. Like, people are afraid to play against each other. It's just like this game. People just run away too much. Like, there needs to be like some type of stamina break for people that just use stuff like spam substitution to always run away from people. Like, people will use guard break, then set their substitutions, then they'll use the support characters to stop you from doing anything, so they can keep running from you. And then they'll use their items to run from you. Like, they'll use all these things and stack all of it just to run away from their opponent. And it's just like, you serious? And then they'll use the triangle and back X button. They'll use the chakra to start running away from you. Then you know what I'm saying? They'll use all these drawn out, boring tactics to, run away from you just to beat you. And it's just like, come on, bro, just fight. You know what I'm saying? Like I mentioned before, in tournaments, people don't want to see stuff like that. It just gets boring. You know what I'm saying? I understand if you're blocking certain hits or attacks, but when you're just like using all this stuff just to run away, it's like, come on, bro. That's one of the main problems with Storm 5. I hope this is something that they actually fix in the future, kind of like how Xenoverse 2, where you have a stamina break. So I hope they have stuff like this. And, you know what I'm saying, the broken stuff with characters like Itachi, like the grabbing and then like the way he uses Crow, like there needs to be a way to balance these characters because, you know what I'm saying, it's getting kind of out of hand. And that's all I need to say. This is Warlord 12 and I'm out.